In other words, the same people are still running the show through the National Security Council.
Yeah, these are people who aren't even officially in the National...
Who voted for Henry Kissinger?
Listen, they're not in the National Security Council officially, but remember the Washington Post 3 weeks ago. They said that under NORTHCOM and Homeland Security, Congress has no authority, repeating PDD 51,
right,
and that the National Security Council rules all, not even the president. The president's a guy, whether it's George Bush or Ronald Reagan or Barack Obama, who goes and reads off a teleprompter, and that's all he does, and then he goes and plays basketball and smokes cigarettes, in his own words. So, and then we're having these stupid, childish arguments with Obama supporters or Bush supporters when the elite admit they're running everything instead of the puppets. Look past the puppets to the actual elite. The Obama Deception on sale now, by the way, on DVD at Infowars.com. Get it, show it to everybody. This exposes their whole agenda. Everybody will watch it because Obama is hot right now. Use this tool. People are ready to wake up. We are back live, ladies and gentlemen, with Jim Mars here in studio with us, author of The Rise of the Fourth Reich, which we have at Infowars.com. This is our best-selling book right now. It's powerful info. No, it's not saying the Nazis run things. The Nazis got it all from the English and the U.S., the system of corporate fascism, and one of the preeminent 9/11 books, The Terror Conspiracy, Deception 9/11, and The Loss of Liberty. Jim Mars, all available at Infowars.com. You're going to be speaking tomorrow night at Brave New Books down at the end of the drag right here in Austin, Texas, bravenewbooks.com.
That's it. Hope to see everybody there.
Now, Jim, you've got some new news on Kissinger and the whole thing.
That's right. We were mentioning Kissinger, and you just mentioned my book, The Rise of the Fourth Reich, which, and I'm glad you clarified this. I'm not trying to say that goose-stepping Germans have taken over the United States. It's this moneyed elite, the very people who created communism in Russia, and then grew fearful because it was going to spread worldwide, so they created National Socialism or Nazism in Germany, and then after the war, they brought them all over here, okay? And they've been building up a power base ever since. We're the new empire. We're the Fourth Reich. That's my argument. But as a capper of that, last year, Henry Kissinger, who's wanted for war crimes in a number of countries, honored former President George Herbert Walker Bush and named him as the man most instrumental for the reunification of Germany, and presented him with this big award. This was in July of 2008. And guess where they held the honor ceremony?
Oh.
On the Wannsee, this lake in Germany, where in January 1942 was held the Wannsee Conference, which is where they decided the final solution. This is when they made the decisions to exterminate the Jews and the Gypsies and the homosexuals.
And we know Kissinger signed the CIA memorandum, State Department Memorandum 200, to force nations that take money to at least reduce their population by half, and they're all into eugenics. So, again, we go back to that.
This is the same Nazi program, the same nationalist program that they were trying to carry to fruition.
And you have that from Fox News, of all places.
That's right off of Fox News. This is not deep secret stuff.
My guys are so good, they've already got it up on screen in there. You know, for those that don't understand, the eugenicists, that was the mainline scientific rage from the 1870s to the 1940s.
Right. In fact, the first eugenics center was set up in this country.
Cold Springs Harbor.
Yeah, and then from money from Mrs. Edward Harriman. And I think it should be pointed out that the Harrimans were the mentors and closest support of the Bushes.
Now, to explain this mainline history book, you're a big historian on this as well, so you can speak to it. I want you to. You know, the crowned king of England was a big Nazi, hung out with them. They told the Nazis, help fund them, we're going to let you take over Europe and fight the Russians. And then Hitler was a bad guy, but the point is they set him up, and that's why the Reich deputy Fuhrer flew in once the war started, parachuted into England, Rudolf Hess, and said, why are you doing this? They grabbed him, threw him in the tower. Hitler said, okay, they've betrayed us, we've still got to beat the communists, and then turned east with Operation Barbarossa. And so this is the mastermind level of the Milner Group, Lord Milner and others. Explain that.
Yeah, well, that's how they operate. In fact, you know, it's this amazing. The current Pope
Hitler Youth.
It was a Hitler Youth. Yeah, Joseph Ratzinger in 1944. He was a member of the Hitler Youth. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor of our largest populated state, his father was a Nazi Gauleiter, a Nazi political leader. I mean, it kind of makes you wonder who won the war. And but as you said, their ideas of extermination and killing people and of sterilization. All this goes back long before World War II and actually originated with the eugenics movement in the United States
and that's
Britain.
why they brought all the Nazis here after.
Sure.
It was all, you even read the writings, we betrayed you, we love you, come to America.
Well, and they,
run NASA, run every major department.
Exactly. And they did kind of betray them, but here's the reason, okay? A quote from Winston Churchill, who was a inner core member of this financial elite, and he said that we must destroy Germany. I don't care if a Jesuit priest is in charge. So in other words, it wasn't Hitler and the Nazis. The problem was, Alex, they did not want Germany to
be the center of power with industry and science.
To lead the financial power of the world. Exactly. That had resided first with the British Empire, and then they had shared it with the Rockefellers and the Morgans and the DuPonts. Okay. And so now they had that Anglo-American financial elite that was running everything, and they didn't want to cut Germany in.
Yeah, so some people email me and go, what, you're defending the Nazis? No, use more than two-dimensional thinking. No, we're saying the globalists on record set them up like a wind-up toy, right, and that it originated from the United States and England, everything we saw unfold.
Why do you think Hitler let the British Army get away at Dunkirk?
No, on record.
Yeah. I mean, he just stopped and let them all go back to England. And
they already had a deal with the Vichy French to basically stand down so they could take over France.
And the whole idea is that they were all going to turn and ally and make peace with each other and then turn against communists, the Soviet Union.
But that was a big setup. They'd made secret pacts that the British and the U.S. broke.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. By the way, I didn't know we'd launched this. It's up on the Alex Jones channel on YouTube, a tour of the office that we promised to do for folks. The new offices. What do you think of the new offices, Jim?
This is really great. It's only fitting that a cutting-edge news commentator like you have cutting-edge production facilities.
Well, I don't know if it's cutting-edge, but it's certainly better than what we had before.
You got more room, don't you?
Yeah, we've got 7,800 square feet. And a little bit of room next door to us has come open because I thought we'd have room for our TV studio, but I don't know what I'm going to do. But it's crazy. And the economy's going to hell in a handbasket. I don't know what to do. You know, because I can sit here, I can fund what we're doing, but then it means more sponsors, more time spent on that. You know, which I'd rather just put the info out. But then you need the cutting edge and the staff and the people to do it right.
And all that takes money.
Well, it sure does.
Well, see, this is something that really bothers me, Alex. You and me, and we could name a dozen other people. People are trying to run websites, people trying to publish books, and we're all struggling, trying to make a living like everybody else. And we're going up against people with very deep pockets. And the irony and the thing that really torques me off is those deep pockets are filled with our tax money.
They use our money against us.
Yeah, exactly. And all we want to do is try to bring truth to people, and then people are confused because they say, well, I hear Alex Jones said this, but then I didn't see that on CNN or Fox, so it must be just conspiracy theory or fringe information. And yet, like everything we've talked about since I've come on here, this is all off of mainstream news sources. I mean, and off the Council on Foreign Relations website. We're not making this stuff up.
It just always has their spin on it.
Right.
They put their spin on it.
Well, of course, and that's why, when I mention the Council on Foreign Relations, I'll be the first to admit, I don't think everybody on the Council on Foreign Relations is some kind of sinister conspirator.
No, it's compartmentalized.
No, it's very compartmentalized, and there's an inner core elite, okay, but they surround themselves. For example, you and I could...
They get all the top CEOs and bankers and media people in there so they can watch them and know what trends are and have people everywhere they can call on favors, and they propel the careers of, it's now up to 5,000 people.
Right, and then they can nudge them, with their foundations and think tanks and studies, they say, well, this is what we need to do. Now, my point is this. They would argue that, letting the Council on Foreign Relations and their 5,000 elite people run everything is only sensible because they know how to handle money. They know how everything works. They've got big educations and degrees. So therefore, this is the path to peace and prosperity. And I would argue if their plans and their actions are the way to peace and prosperity, go back and look at history since their inception in 1921, and you'll find we've had 2 world wars, and a depression, stock market crash, unlimited other wars, political assassinations, their track record's not very good.
Well, I mean, let's expand on that. They fund wars. They kill millions of people. Brzezinski brags in 2 books he wrote that he engineered Pol Pot. I mean, he's proud of that, so they're very wicked at the top.
He also has admitted that as Secretary of State under Jimmy Carter, he sent spies and provocateurs into Afghanistan to lure the Russians into moving into Afghanistan so they could have
staging terror attacks 6 months before.
Yeah, staging terror attacks to bring in the Russians. He's proud of it because he said that helped defeat the Soviets.
Well, I mean, here's an example of how our detractors work. Not people that are government operatives or disinfo. They're out there too, but people that get mad at me. I've done my own little studies. Like, I'll be on one of my YouTube videos, and I'll see a comment going, Alex Jones is a dirtbag piece of filth, fed, and I hope he dies, basically. And I'll link through to the guy's website, and he's a Georgian living in America.